Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Pete. Now, today what we have in store, I'm going to show you guys my Alocasia collection. Now, this collection itself is not extensive, but some of these I've had at least maybe within a year's time, and the way they were growing, or I should say potted, they weren't growing good enough for me. It got to the point where they were growing, but the leaves weren't getting as big, and also at certain points it just completely just stopped growing on me. So I decided to switch them over, and all of them and any that I receive from now on will be in the same process. So um, let's go ahead and go over the plants, and I'll jump into the growing medium. And then I also have another repot with another, I think, Alocasia and a Calocasia. I'm not sure, but depending on how long this video is, it might be a two-part, but I might just keep it one if I can get through it and jump right into it. But let's go right ahead and jump into it. This guy right here, all of these, all of my Alocasias, Calocasias, they are grown in some sort of a mason jar, guys. So this one here is my Alocasia African mask. I think, as you can see or tell by the stem, she was pretty big for its size, and the leaves just kept dying back, and it wouldn't hold any leaves. So as you'll see with my Alocasia Green Shield, I figured it out, at least the process for me that works. But what I did was I did it the same way as my Green Shield, and she had to start over, but there is a new leaf coming through right there, and I'm loving it just because of, again, I figured out the process to grow her. Now in each pot I do have fillers, and a matter of fact, this is my only pure white plant, I would say, for my Tradescantias. I'm not sure which ones they are. It could just be like the variegated, but I'm not sure. But you know, I will place the names up top if I butcher them or I don't even know. But yeah, I use these Tradescantias as fillers, and also something else to help absorb with the water. These Alocasias, they are all grown in pond. Some people call them pond. I just call them rocks, but pond works for me. It sounds a lot better than just regular old rocks. But they grow in this medium that sits inside of my grow tent, and there is, I don't know if you can see the water in it. Maybe you can, but water level stops there, and there's are some roots, as you can see here, which is probably coming from that Tradescantia. But there's half water, and of course the other half is just medium and air. But there is also part fertilizer as well. Miracle Grow, yeah, Miracle Grow fertilizer, which is diluted all the way down um, to a point where the water still almost looks clear, but there's like a smidge of blue tint there. But yes, this is the process that I use, and like I said at the beginning of the video, if I can get through these pretty quickly, which I should, because there's only a couple. I'm doing a repot also with these. I have two that I need to do something with, but this here is my African mask, Alocasia, and I love her. I can't wait till she starts to kick up and grow again, and hopefully get to the size and the grow rate of my Alocasia Green Shield. Now let's move on to the next one. Stick that there. Now this one here doesn't look like much, but of course I've switched it over to my pond setting again because she wasn't doing that good in dirt. None of these do good in dirt for me, but anyway, this is a teeny dancer or tiny dancer, however you want to pronounce it, Alocasia. As you can see, she did have to start over, and I forgot what these leaves here are called. There's a specific name, but these are the leaves that come out before your actual leaf. And if you can see here, I have a leaf coming out, which I am grateful and happy for. Um, Again, also, there are fillers in here. And to keep saying that, I think I might have said it already, but all of my plants have these fillers in it, especially I would just say for now, the variegated Tradescantias until I put the name up top. But of course, she's growing just fine in the median. Just like the first one, there are a few roots growing around the edges, and I'm pretty sure it's from the Tradescantias just because the Alocasia roots are a little bit more thicker. And with it being in the center, I doubt that it'll push outward um, just because of the position of it. But keep a lookout, guys, on the update for these. I can't wait till they get big. Um, I just love these guys. Like, I really do. They're easy to take care of at a certain stage for me. I also have a bigger one, but bigger Alocasia, not Teeny Dancer. But I love this guy, and I can't wait till she start back growing the way that I need and want her to. But this is my Alocasia Teeny Dancer. Let's move on to the next one. Um, Matter of fact, I think that is it. The ones that I have right in front of me. This one here is a lemon. It could be a lime Alocasia or lemon lime Alocasia. If you haven't noticed or figured out by now, I love lime colored things, lemon lime colored, anything usually green. I typically like, especially if it's like a bright green that screams, "Hey, look at me," like the infamous lemon lime Maranta that I have. But this guy here, she gets pretty big, just like the rest of the varieties. She gets pretty big, and I've had some issues with her. If she would have kept growing for me um, over the summer at a steady rate without, I don't know what happened or what was going on with her besides throwing complete fits, she would probably be almost the size of my green shield. But as I said before, I'm glad that she's on the right track now. She's putting out new growth. Um, you can barely, or you can actually tell the lime color of the leaves coming through on the camera. But of course, with most of the plants, if you give it the right light, bright enough light, they will shine and bloom for you. And when I say bloom, an aspect as in color, pop. So um, as of right now, the light that they're getting is I'll say maybe a little bit of waiting. Let's say the light that they're getting is adequate enough, but it's not to the point where I need it, and I think I know exactly what I have to do. But again, there are roots on the sides growing, and also there are some which I'm pretty sure the Tradescantias that are grown down in the water. But this is my lemon lime or lime Alocasia. Can't wait till she get bigger. And once the seasons change, there's a little bit more sunlight and the growth rate will pick up a lot more. And I cannot wait for that. But again, this is my lemon lime Alocasia. Now, honestly, that is it that I have in front of me. What I'm going to do is insert a picture or video right here. All right, guys. This one here is my Alocasia green shield. I love her to death, you guys. I've had her for some years now, and I finally figured out how to grow her. This one here, per se, is growing in vermiculite. I don't have it in pond or spag, but I needed something that resembled something of a growing conditions that they would grow in, like next to a bog or lake or some kind of wet substrate. But I do know they love water. But now she's holding one, two, three, four, five, six leaves. Most people that I've seen, they're having trouble with holding, one or two. But she had eight leaves, but I've been doing some late night recordings and overslept a few times and forgot to turn on infamous grow lights here, and she didn't like that too much, so she dropped one of the eldest leaves, and this one might be next. Let's hope not. But even though if she does go out, she is still doing great. And as you can see, also in this one, I have my fillers. I try to scan these. I'm not sure which ones I will place a name up top as well with the rest, but she is doing great variegated. These are some half moon ones. As you seen earlier, I have one that is fully growing variegated, so that's also in a joy. Um, I was trying to see maybe if she had another. Yep, I can feel her. She's red there. You probably can't see it, but there's another leaf coming in, and I can't wait. The trunk on her, so you can see it. There she is, and like I said before, she's doing spectacular. And as you can see, my fillers, they're outgrowing the pot. So this is the plant that I use to get the rest of my fillers from. Um, this one right here, again, it's following the variegation pattern. Usually, if you cut it, variegation is more pronounced. I cut it at the bottom and placed it in another pot, and look, she's putting out nothing but half, I guess half moon leaves. But as you can see, she's starting to get leggy. But I will be chopping her, propping her some more, and placing her inside of another pot. Matter of fact, some of this should be inside of a project that I'm doing right now. So this is my green shield alocasia. Now, what we are going to do, since I have a little more time, I'm going to show you guys the process of me actually potting or is it ponding, or let's just say repotting my alocasias. And of course, I'm using pond, so I like using mason jars, of course, so you can see the roots and you basically keep an eye on what's going on. I have this big one here for my calicasia, which is in a bulb form. Of course, I couldn't get it to do right, but I pulled up, and as we all know with alocasias, I think at least maybe 95%, if I'm not mistaken, maybe all comes with they grow bulbs. So if anything is wrong with your foliage, just go down and check your roots, and I'm pretty sure you can save it if it's had if she's produced pups, and it usually comes from your main bulb. And as you can see here, this one is spread, but this is the calicasia, if I'm not mistaken. Again, there will be names at top. She's red, pretty colored, and have these little funky little red fold tabs on the back that I think are really nice. I'm not sure what the purpose or what the evolution of that was for or is for, but they are pretty nice, and I would like a pop of red in my collection. And since I do have the Calicasia family, I decided to pick her up. And of course, the extra pieces or extra pups she put off, they were sold or traded to get something else. But let's jump into and then the next one that I have is also an African mask. As you can see, this is what happens for me when they go in soil. I'm I'm not sure why, but I can guarantee you once I switch them over, they will start to grow. But let's jump right into it. Now, what you will need is some water, basically, whatever your container you're using. Like I said, I love mason jars. And you will need your abstract, which is for me, it's the pond. Um, Again, I got a real big bag of this at, of course, Lowe's, and it was like $2 or $3. And I mean, the bag is huge, and it's just a lot of rock for $2 or $3. I was kind of shocked, but I'm working with it. So, what I would normally do if the plants have roots on them, I will go ahead and take them out, and I would switch. Should I start with this one? Let's check and see if this one have any roots. I haven't checked yet, so this will be a surprise for me as well. But what I'll do, like I said before, is I'll check the root system. If the root system is okay, what I usually do is clean it off, and I will arrange the root system throughout the rock. So I will put my pond in, and then I will dangle this throughout it and fill it around so that the roots are not squinched. And as it grows, it can support it a lot quicker and faster. Now, what I've noticed here, and what I'm pretty sure, guys, check this here out. So what I'm pretty sure has happened is that it looks like it had dried out. As you can see, the roots here are no good, like at all. Probably overwatered, which again, for me, for this case, you can't overwater pond. So I'm going to love it. Now, this one here specifically, when it was growing, it was giving off pups, which I can see here. Some of them, oh crap, some of them have, how is that even humanly possible? Some of them have falling off, which I'm pretty sure if there's any more, it'll grow down. It'll come out of one of these pots like some other things do. Like I have an alocasia growing out of one of my lemon lime philodendron or lime philodendron, and it's just weird. And I think it's over here. I don't know if you can see it, but a little off topic. But yeah, see that just randomly growing out of another pot. It's just strange, but of course that's what happens when you have bulbs and alocasias. They spread, which I love. And as I said before, if anything goes wrong with the roots, with your plant, check the roots. If the roots are gone, you should have at least a bulb, and this is what one of the bulbs look like on the African mask. Now, as far as the pups, I hope I just pulled one off. I'm going to see, can I show you without detaching them? There's one, let's see. There's one right there, and there's another there. Also, the biggest one that fell off, probably can see that a lot better. Let's see. There it is. This is one of the little bulbs, the little pups from the African mask. And of course, with the right conditions, which of course I have, they will explode and start to grow and spread. All right, so what we're going to do now is dirt is everywhere. Okay, I'm going to slide this over now. With this one, I already have one, as you've seen before. What I'm going to do eventually, I didn't want to disturb her as of yet, but I also hate having extra pots of the same thing, especially if I'm not doing anything with it. But yeah, eventually they will go inside of the forever home, which is the other pot. But as for now, just for demonstration purposes and to keep me from disturbing her. I'm going to use this one here, which is much smaller, mason jar. Let's go ahead and get started. So what I do is I take my pond, and since this is just a bare bulb, I don't have to do much adjusting. So all I would do is fill this partially, maybe 3/4, a little over 3/4 full. I don't know if you can see that. This is a smaller mason jar, like I said. And of course, you don't want your bulb to sit directly down in the water. That will cause it to really root rot and kill itself out. But if you see here, let's see, can I get it? Well, I don't have to get it, but if you can see here, it's just sitting directly on top, which I might add some more in to lift it up a little bit more. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, put a little bit more in here. Alright. And then I get this, and I did that. There we go. So now it looks like this. Okay, my next step, we are going to get some more pond, and we are going to fill it in around the bulb, kind of like enclosing in it, so that for one, she doesn't wobble any, and also the roots give it a better foundation. Now what I'm looking over here and noticing is that I have my cuttings, my fillers that I'm going to put in here, but what I need to do is take this top half that I put back in it, I'm going to take it out. Now what I'm going to do is take my trusty shears, and what I usually do, I'll come in here with my cut up pieces of Tradescantias that came from that Wandering Jew. Oh crap, that came from that green shield pot of mine. From the fillers, those are original fillers, like I said, but I cut some of these off. I cut them by node. So if we all know a Tradescantia or Wandering Jew, that these guys here are very resilient, and this little node here will take off, which is why you see a lot of these variegated ones. I got it from the nursery. It came in the pot. He did some kind of decoration with it, but there was a lot of green ones, and he placed in one of these, and I bought one, and I took that one out, and I've been propagating ever since, and of course they just keep going. But as I was saying, I usually cut them down as many nodes as I need, but with this process I only need a couple, because there are only two, and once I cut it down, most of them I leave either the top three, or I leave something like that that's left. That way it has a better chance of propagating, even though my smallest ones that I have in here that barely have a stem like these here, the first one I showed you, are growing full plant. So again, the conditions are right for them, and it should take off just fine. Okay, let's move on. What we're going to do, you're going to adjust these inside of your pot the way that you want them to grow. Now with this one, I can actually cut it again because it sits too low. You're going to arrange them the way you want them to grow. So don't forget the angles and the position of your sunlight. So if it's turned a certain way, then it might lose some of your variegation, or your grow pattern is kind of ruined just because of how you decided to put them in there. But with me, my grow lights are facing up, so they really don't have any choice but to go up. And that's also okay with me as well. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to get some more pond and we're going to fill her up. You need to cover the cuttings, and we also have to cover the this bulb itself with some more pond so that it's securely covered and there's more space for it to root under here. So what I'm going to do is fill this here in. Now, as I fill this in, keep in mind that some of your plants will move and you will have to adjust some of them just to get it in, of course, the way or the right position that you want them. Now, depending on how good you're at this process, it doesn't have to be in a specific order. You can put your bulb down or your plants down and do your pond, or do your pond and then put your rocks down. It all depends on how good you're good at planting these little stems, and sometimes it gets a little tedious and aggravating. That I can tell you, but again, ending result, you will love it. So now with this one, I am officially through. Let's cut this down one more time. We're gonna lay you sideways here. There we go. Throw a couple more pieces of pond in that. Move you down here. All right, so now we are officially done with this one. Now again, since this one is going inside of the other mature pot over here, these fillers, of course, will do me some justice, because I'm sure eventually I will need some more. And the best thing there is, I would say, is a rooted plant. So of course, if I have roots on them, what am I looking for? If they have roots on them, whatever, they have a better chance of living. Okay, have a better chance of living. So what we're going to do next is fill this up here with my solution. I don't know if you can see it, but what I do is my water will sit in like gallon jugs. I reuse my milk jugs a lot, so I'll fill those up with water and they will sit outside at least for maybe 2 or 3 weeks to a month, depending on when my sensitive plants need water. I use that because the chlorine and stuff here is kind of strong, and I don't want it to mess up any of my sensitive stuff. Now, my hardier plants, they don't mind it. The roots, of course, can separate the chemicals out, but and it don't bother them as much. But inside of here, this is regular water, dechlorinated, and you probably can't see it, but there's a tint of blue that I use, which is Miracle Grow solution. Now what I'm going to do is just basically pull this right on over in here. You're not going to fill it up, but I may have put a little too much in that. Let's put some in that. Alright, so I don't know if you can see it, but this is your finished product, and the water line is right here only because of my my grow bulb is not even that long, so she's fitting down in there just nice. And now what I'm going to do is take my extra bulbs, my little pup bulbs, and I'm going to place them down inside of this medium as well. And of course, they will grow and spread into more. But as I said, she's going to go right over here with her inside of this Sugarland Moonshine um, Appalachian apple pie moonshine jar. Um, it's big enough for her and her root system, so be prepared for another video for that, guys. I can't wait again till they start to grow in these kind of conditions. As you can see from my other video, the clip that I inserted, my green shield is growing in vermiculite. And for me, vermiculite is kind of like the conditions they grow in. It's a little moggy, muddy, wet, kind of dry, kind of. I'm sitting on the edge of a lake, kind of. I'm in a bog, kind of swampy kind of environment, but she's growing tremendously for me. And as you've seen, she's putting off new growth left and right and actually holding the leaves. And I can't wait. As you can see, this one here, my lime, she has 4 leaves on her and a 5th coming in. I did have to get rid of the other one here. I think it was a couple of days ago, but it is okay. She's doing fine. But I can't wait till that grows and we're going to get that in there now. Let's move on to the next one, which is the bulb. Again, I will put the name up here somewhere of her. Hopefully this process I can get going and started, because she's a pretty, I'm gonna say pretty big bulb, but this is a nice size bulb, and hopefully with the same process I can get her going. So what we're going to do is repeat the same process as the first time. Again, this one is a little bit bigger just because she's going to be housed in it, and I'm not planning on moving her out unless it's going to be something bigger, which hopefully down the line I can do some more projects with these. And I'm actually looking for vases like the one that my green shield is in, either white or blue for all of them. I'm usually trying to keep them all the same colors. And you will notice soon, once you see like a plant tour or just other videos, that most of my plant pots are either black, but my sensitive things or rare things are in white ceramic pot, which houses a 6-inch pot. All right, so again, what we're going to do is repeat the first steps. Now with this one, you can almost fill your cup up at least almost, I would say at least an inch from the rim, just because this one is an inch. I'm measuring it with my pinky here. I don't know if you guys remember, I might be showing my age, but in school, telling my age, but in school, they said usually an inch is the first joint of your pinky, which is here. So again, if I do this to the side, it sits up probably about an inch. So that's what we would do, about an inch from the top. Alright, and what you're going to do is place it on top to make sure it's in the desired area you want it to be. And again, don't forget, you don't want these to be sitting directly in the water, because it will really rot out your bulb. And sometimes you can save that bulb again if you go back, dig it out and dry it out completely, then you might have a chance. But once you dry it out, then you have to be careful watering it again, because you can reactivate the bacteria and stuff. But hopefully you cleaned it off with some kind of antibacterial or something. Soap is always good to use. But anyway, we have her the way we want her now. What I'm going to do is take my cuttings. I actually like this one. It's like one of the best ones I have, besides the pure white one that's over here. But we're going to take these here and we're going to adjust them, as I said. Place them down the way you want them. Trim this one down some more. And again, like I said, each leaf of this Tradescanthia technically is an entire plant. So you can take this little one cutting, and within, I'll say, a month's time, you will have one, two, three plants with shoots on it. Within 3 months, you can chop and prop it again. So you're looking at maybe 8 to 9, and it just keeps going, doubling, tripling, quadrupling, usually +1 or +3. But you're going to place these in here the way you want them, which again for me, which is slightly under 3. No, it's 4. There's 4 of these in here, which is pretty quick. Now, what I would do, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the other ones. I'm not even going to half it. I'm going to, let me cut some of these nodes down. Since this is a nice one, I really didn't want to cut it up too much. But if it grows the way I'm cutting it, then so be it. Let's cut this one again, and we're going to cut this node right here. Now, when I cut these, you will notice that some of the bases, I'll cut it down to that there. So that way, if I go in and I see a piece that looks dead or something, I go to pull it and cut it. I don't necessarily rip the whole plant out, and aesthetically it looks better once it starts to grow. All right, so now what we're going to do is go back in here. Since I cut these up from 4, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I have 7. Went from 4 to 7 nodes, which again will grow the way I need them to grow. All right, now I'm adjusting these the way I want them to shoot out. So again, when you're working with a naked bulb, or even when you're working with your regular plants, of course you want to place them the way you want them to grow. So I wouldn't place the back side. This is the front side, of course. I wouldn't place this side towards the back side, because if your grow light is coming that way, or if your plant is facing the other way, it'll grow crazy. But lucky with these, they vine and they are quick to turn. Now, your bigger plants, they don't really have a choice, and you can sometimes, the plant can mess itself up trying to adjust. So what I'm going to do now is fill her in with pond. Now again, this process is a little tedious, because once you start to put them in here, you have to make sure that your Tradescanthias are not getting pushed around by the pond. So here we go. And again, filling these areas up. And you want to make sure that it's covered. It's covered as good as possible, or as good as you can get it, just because of the water that's in it. Once it starts to evaporate, this is how your plant will feed itself until the roots start to mature and come out and do their thing. Now, as you can see, this is what we have for a finished product. As you can see, this is the root ball, not the root ball, but the bulb itself with my fillers in it. And last but not least, guys, we're going to put water in her. Is that too much? I put a little bit too much in here, as I did. Heavy-handed Pete. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. You probably can't see this one, because this one is a double pane. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but the water level stops right below here. So there's not, again, not enough water so that she's sitting there drowning herself out. Um, but again, guys, this is the way that, let's make sure that's it. Okay. Thought I had some more baby pups, but I think I put them all in here. But this is the way that I will grow my alocasias from now on. I'm honestly thinking about switching them all over to vermiculite since vermiculite is working, but also the pond is working. But the vermiculite is a lot lighter weight wise. These here, I mean, they're not heavy, but you know, once the weight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, like this one here, it should be like a pound, maybe 2 pounds. So yeah, I'm thinking about switching them over, but who knows? All right, guys, this video is kind of long. Um, I didn't really mean for it to be, but you know, this tends to happen when you're in your element and you're chatting while planting, especially if planting is your thing. Well, for that matter, if you're doing whatever your niche is, you know, time will definitely fly by if you're enjoying what you're doing usually. But this here is my Calocasia collection. Hopefully keeping all of my fingers, toes, eyes, lips, nose, hair, anything I can think of crossed. I really and truly, I've been wanting a cupria for God knows how long, and for God knows how long the prices have been just crazy, and I'm just still refusing to pay the prices that people are offering when it's just not even that serious. But of course, it's America. Anyway, guys, that is in the end of the video. I would like to thank you for coming back and joining me on this little venture of mine, transferring my plants to pond. Again, thanks for coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, don't forget to hit that notification icon so you can keep up with the new content that I am doing. There will be a video again released tomorrow. There are new uploads every day. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Bye.